The road to World Cup glory is underway. Last weekend, things kicked off in Changchun, China, where Korea's Wonchun Shin took a comfortable lead over Russia's Maria Tolokonina, while in the men's lead, Luna Ladevant won the first gold medal for France in 18 years. But there's still everything to play for as athletes battle for a chance to earn their spot on the podium and ultimately to be crowned World Cup champion. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2020 UIAA Ice Climbing World Cup. Welcome to Cheongsong. Welcome to a very sunny Cheongsong, South Korea. This is the spectacular venue that is shortly to see some of the world's best climbers do battle in the men's and women's lead finals. Welcome to the UIAA Ice Climbing World Cup. It's the second stop on the tour and the 10th time Cheongsong has hosted this event. There are both some familiar and new names on the lineup. The podium could go to any one of these athletes, but one thing is for certain, it promises to be an epic few hours of climbing. So it's 5 degrees Celsius here. Perfect conditions for a showdown of climbing talent. My name is Tarquin Cooper, and I shall be commentating throughout the lead finals this afternoon, alongside my co-commentator, the Swiss competitor, Nikolai Primarov.
Hello everybody, thank you Tarquin, it's great to be here.
But before we get going, here's a selection of some of the best action we've seen so far. Well, let's look at the lineup for the women's final. First to go off is Sina Gertz from Switzerland, followed by Valeria Bogdan, Mako Taki from Japan, Sun Ah-son from Korea, Choi Hyun-saw from Korea also, and then the Russian athlete Ekaterina Vlasova, Wonchun Shin from Korea, and then it's Maria Tolokonina to go last in the women's finals. Over on the men's side, first to climb will be the Russian athlete Nikolai Gusev. Then it'll be the Korean Chang Hyun Lee, followed by Mohammad Reza Safdarian, Hey-Kwon, and the Swiss maestro Yannick Glatthard, followed by the French athlete Nathan Claire. Then it's Dmitry Grebenikov from Russia, and last to go will be Maxime Tomilov, a 5-time champion, also from Russia. So, any minute now the lead athletes will come through. I can just see at the corner of my eye what looks like to be Sina Gertz warming up. Now before they came on, athletes would have had the chance to observe the route. They get 7.5 minutes. How important is that, Nikolai, for a successful ascent?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you climb on site, so the route observation is really important. So, yeah, there are a couple of techniques. Some people just basically watch the route and just try to remember the moves, and some people draw it and try to remember how the hold works, and that they can repeat it basically in the isolation zone.
Is it really possible to actually work out all the moves and all the sequences and then go into isolation and basically remember those moves that you have to do?
Well, yeah, sometimes it's really difficult. Sometimes you don't see really the holds where it's kind of working, so you just basically have to sometimes make decisions on the go when you climb. So
So we're just seeing Sina Gertz come out, a young 20-year-old athlete from Switzerland. You must know her quite well.
Yes, yes, we train with Sina quite often, and we are, of course, in the same team. So she's from eastern part of Switzerland, really improved in recent years dramatically. So she's, I don't know, she has some troubles with her rib, but hopefully she can show us what she can do today. I really wish her all the best. So let's see.
She's a phenomenal athlete. And she has 7.5 minutes to get as high as she possibly can on this wall. Both the men and the women have 7.5 minutes. It's not a speed event, but the clock is ticking. Are you aware of the clock ticking while you're climbing?
Yeah, it's a difficult task actually when you climb to really like keep an eye on a watch. That's why sometimes, actually now for the finals and semifinals, athletes has their own clock down where they can just check quickly how much time they left. But basically now the trend is that you have to climb all the time. There is no really time to shake or to take a break. Basically the route is long, and the route setters they give you not so much time, so you really have to climb all the time without any break.
And that is exactly what Sina is doing here, just moving swiftly through the first opening section to get that first quick draw at number 3.
Yeah, it seems like she's in a good pace. Hopefully she can keep it up.
Well, the telltale thing will be that rib. Oh, she just didn't quite get stick the hold there. Some of these holds are really quite awkward. Can you tell us a little bit of a rundown on what types of holds the athletes have to face?
Yeah, I mean, there are, so basically, of course, Korean athletes train here, they know the holds a little bit better than the others, so everybody who is basically competing at their home venue, they know the holds a little bit more, so it's a little advantage, let's say. But of course, route setters try to make the route that even if you know the hold, it's still challenging. So you can see the moves are quite long. The holds are turned like side pulls, let's say. You have some underclings. So
a good mix, a good mix to test athletes. Really testing all of their very long reach there from Sina Gertz. And you know, we mentioned earlier she's got an injured rib. She actually fractured her rib in training a few weeks ago, and last weekend in Changchun, China, it caused her a lot of grief. She was in so much pain on the Monday she could barely walk, but she said that she was quite relieved to have cleared the semis yesterday without too much pain. So quite an extraordinary performance. Just uses her left hand there. We're seeing a lot of climbers do that, borrow some rock climbing techniques to get through these tricky moves as she now heads towards this first section of ice, which the local route setters, they've nicknamed it, they call them ice candy. So it's this first swinging, spinning ice bollard, and she drops perfectly onto that. She'll now want to wrestle that, get that swing under control, steady her position.
Yeah, this is also one speciality here, that you have pretty long ceiling, let's say, or the route which goes through the ceiling. So you also have to keep like orientation, where you go in, how you do figure, where you do figure 9 or figure 4. So sometimes it's really hard if you don't have such kind of structure to train. It's really challenging sometimes to really navigate through the route properly and efficiently. And of course, if you're efficient through these ice barrels and ice structures, you can save a lot of time and energy. Which
you can see the top of the ice barrel there is red. That means it's out of bounds. So Sina has to get her tools into those blue holes. They are set routes. Now she looks like she's reaching to get back onto terra firma off that ice barrel. Big cheers from the crowd here in Cheongsong. A lot of local spectators have come to watch this epic spectacle on what is the second stop on the UIAA Ice Climbing World Tour. We're watching Swiss athlete Sina Gertz.
She's doing pretty good so far. No wasting time, no unnecessary moves, clipping quite fast. So yeah, it's really good.
She's got just under 3 minutes left, so still in good time.
Yeah, still enough time even to finish the route. Let's see if she has power.
Let's see if she can get that pain under control as well. Is there an advantage to going first, or psychologically is it a real disadvantage for her?
Yeah, it depends. I think it really depends on the athlete. Sometimes I also feel like when you're climbing first, you have a little bit like a little additional stress, and sometimes it plays in your favor. You know, okay, I'm first, I have to deliver what I can. Nobody really from the crowd can kind of, you know, cheer where if you take the hold, and then they cheer stronger. That means you.
And there are a lot of cheers coming down from the crowd here. Sina is making a very, very bold attempt to get onto the podium. It's all or nothing here. This is her one and only attempt to get on the podium.
Sina home. Really nice.
She is doing so well. She's on the top of the rankings in the European Cup. Can this be her ticket to moving up the rankings in the World Cup? Let's see.
Really good. How much time does she still have?
Well, there's still a couple of minutes.
Wow, great. I think
less than coming up for a minute left. So it's possible she could top if she just keeps it together. Oh, and she's popped!
No.
Ah, she must be so frustrated with that. The right hand just came off.
Well, I think it's a very good performance for Sina. So let's see how the others do.
So she got to the 13th clip. She cleared those ice barrels. She got through the roof. A great performance from the young climber. She's still only 20 years old, so still a very, very promising future ahead of her. It's really too early to say whether that could be enough to get her onto the podium. What do you think, Nikolai?
Yeah, it's. I agree with you. It's too early to say. Let's see how the others climb. But she was really quick, and this hold is a little bit tricky. I think you really need to keep your handle close to the wall, because it's. I guess it's a side pull.
Such a small hold on the right there, and you just saw it just move. So on the men's side, we have Nikolai Gusev, who's just begun his attempt, and he's going to mean serious business here today, because he is off the back of disappointment last weekend in Changchun, where he failed to make the finals. Very unusual for him. Last year he won 4 out of the 6 stops, so he will be looking to redeem himself today. Nikolai, what can you tell us? What kind of a climber, what kind of a guy is Nikolai?
Yeah, Nikolai is actually the same age as me, born in 1983, and he's from Tumen. And yeah, what I like in Nikolai's style, it's a very efficient style. He just basically, he never rushes. He just climbs in his pace and just does the moves with the first try, and that's why he's so fast. So it's really nice to see him climbing. It's so, yeah, it's just really great style. I like it.
He's very, very calm and collected. And you have to remember here that Nikolai competed also in the speed finals, and you can watch that on our YouTube channel. Just search for us at UIAA Mountains. How much of an impact will that have taken on his energy reserves? Does it make you more tired? And bear in mind, he came second, so
yeah, Nikolai is quite unique. He's doing both disciplines very good. I believe he's the current combined world champion.
So a big reach up to the left. He's moving swiftly through there. That's a very fast into the Fig 9 and over to the Fig 4. Onto this first of the hanging ice barrels, or the ice candy, as the route setters are calling them. I asked one of the route setters to give a kind of flavour of what the athletes could expect, and he just said, it's going to be a long brawl. Long reach over to the left from Gusev, and just such expert footwork.
Yeah, as you can see, he just doesn't do any unnecessary moves. He just does everything what needs to be done, and that's why it's really fast.
ideal. Hanging off one arm, but he did well to recover there. Very well to recover. He won't want to do that too many times. He gets the 8th clip.
Here he needs to be careful with the red line. Yeah, okay, very good.
Kicks very firmly with his feet. As he moves now to this, really this roof section. Not super hard moves, but they are very strenuous, isn't it, when you're under the roof?
Yeah, exactly. It's just the long moves and a lot of them, which makes you tired. Basically, you just need to keep breathing and to keep your pace, because if you overpace, you can get pumped really quickly. So
strength is so important, and the endurance as well.
Oh, that's a long move here. I think they need to go up to the blue volume.
Yeah, it's a very long. So he's got to get very high in that figure of 4 with the right leg over the left arm and swing.
Oh, yes, nice.
And he sticks it first time.
Yeah, this was good.
Sticks it first time for the Russian Nikolai Gusev. He's looking on much better form than he did last weekend. Last weekend he got stuck under a roof and got into a spin and just got into a real tangle with the rope. Here he's really showing all the moves of exactly how to do this sport. So he shakes off the left hand there. Do you get much respite? Do you get much help when you shake the arm out?
Yeah, I guess like in the beginning, okay, you can run the route and do the moves quite quickly, but once you are on the roof, once you run out of breath, you really need to shake, because otherwise you will just get too pumped. So here Nikolai, you can see he's a little bit slower now, takes some time for each move and shakes a little bit for each move.
Slowing down, but still looking very steady.
Yes,
and secure. Just perfect
moves, yes.
Body tension there as he just moved out left onto that yellow volume. He did very lucky to make the finals, really, because he wasn't due to qualify, and it was only because the young American Liam Foster had a penalty, who climbed beyond a quick draw and had to down climb, and he was penalized for that. So Kozlovlev benefits from that mistake from the young 19-year-old American. Hangs off that Stein before taking on the last section. Has he got enough time to top? We shall have to wait and see.
Now you can see he's taking some time to shake, because the moves are getting a little bit more technical.
It's a big long reach there with the left. He's starting to tire, but still indomitable. As he inches his way ever upwards, he'll want to just clip that 12th. So important in lead to make the quick draw. That's where your points come from. A little bit of a shake on both arms before committing to the next section. And it looks like a very long reach off with the left, and making sure that he stays within bounds. A hold with red around it. That red is out of bounds. You've got to get your tool in exactly the right spot.
Yeah, he still has 1 minute and 10 seconds, and I think this would be enough for Nikolai if he keeps moving on.
Steps up high with that undercling.
Now he has 1 minute left. Wow, that's a very technical hold. This is just a plate, metal plate with the ball, and when you have the ice axe on this in this hold, you cannot do any wiggling or any mistakes, because this hold just doesn't forgive. Wow, that's a long reach. Nice.
Big reach there. So impressive. Makes the 13th clip. Is he going to do it? He's got number 13. He will be very happy with this performance so far. Shakes out the arms. Big cheers from his Russian teammates. Go, Nikolai. Clock is ticking. Ooh. Oh, my word. What an incredible dyno from the Russian. Launched himself into space to get that and sticked it the first time. Then the reverse goes into that Stein, that undercling.
It's time over for Nikolai.
It sounds like, yeah.
Performance from Nikolai.
What a performance. Do you think he'll be happy with that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he will be happy. He basically didn't do any mistakes and he was moving all the time, so I don't think he can like really perform much better. It was really great from him.
There we are. He's pretty out of breath. Look at that.
Understandable.
Gives a nod to the camera. Very strong performance and sets the bar high for the others as well.
Yes, that's true.
They now know, rather they don't know because they've been in isolation.
Yeah.
So here he is, stepping up on that overhanging, and this is that really big move that he landed. Wow. Incredible athlete. So it's another Russian athlete about to set off, and that is Valeria Bogdan, also from Russia, 19 years old.
Did she win a speed?
She won speed last weekend in Changchun.
And here she was second.
That's right.
Yeah. That's actually interesting to see her in lead final. Did she do? She didn't do the lead final in China. I don't think so. No.
No, she didn't qualify for lead finals in China.
That's interesting. Let's see how her form here is.
Very young athlete, 19 years old.
Yeah, she's from Kirov, also the same town where Maria Tolokonina is training. So I guess this is their school, and it's a quite strong school. So
it's a big sport in Kirov, isn't it?
Yes, it's a very popular sport, and Pavel Shabalin, who is basically responsible for developing the sport there, he did a lot. There is also a big structure where will be youth championship this year. So probably we will see her also at the youth championship there in Kirov.
Why is it that the Russians are so good at this sport?
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, well, we have infrastructure. It's the same as Koreans. They have a great structure here where you can train. So they also got a really strong team here, and it's the same in Russia. We basically have several cities where you have a very nice ice climbing structure, and actually there also people
Big
train.
move here from Valeria. She's just reaching out.
Oh, that's really tense.
It's easy to assume that the first section of the lead route is pretty straightforward, and the difficulties only begin up high when the excitement begins with those hanging ice bollards. But the truth is that some of these holds are very, very unforgiving, and if you get your body position just slightly off 100%, you can pop very easily. We saw that yesterday in the men's semi-finals. A lot of the guys were coming off this very slippery hold.
Yeah, the semi-final was quite challenging for all the athletes.
So second attempt there to make this hold for Valeria. Gets it on the third attempt. Not moving so fast as Sina Gertz, but still looking under control.
Yeah, she's taking a little bit too much, or let's say she's a little bit more careful than Sina. But I don't know. I mean, it seems like maybe she's overestimating the difficulty a little bit, because Sina, it didn't look like it was so hard for Sina, this first 4 quick draws, 5 quick draws.
Caution is not going to get you a place on the podium.
Yep.
So she's just on that side hold. Very small hold with the right. The body tension there has to be just spot on. But she makes clip number 5 with just over 4 minutes to go.
Long reach now, coming.
Let's get her feet over. Reaches up and sticks it the first time. She's looking very confident, but not the fastest. And that could impact her performance here in the lead in the finals here in Cheongsong. Just moving up changing her position on the tool there. It seems most athletes have 2 positions on their tools, but some you'll see have 3. Do you have a preference, Nikolai?
Well, you mean positions in terms of
3, like 2 or 3 different holds on the shafts. Yeah. Is there an advantage to having more, or do most climbers tend to prefer 2 holds?
Yeah, I think 3 holds is mainly like a little bit modified tools. So let's say the classical tools from most manufacturers, they have 2 holds. So I guess it's just the preference. Each climber has its own preference.
Their own personal preference.
So you can always climb with 2 holds, no problem with two handles.
So Valeria Bogdan making her way up to this first ice section. These hanging bollards. Just shakes out that left arm. Slings the tool over her shoulder. Gets over, and now she's about to commit to the move. But she's only got just over 2 minutes. So she'll need to speed up if she is to improve her chances of getting onto the podium. But first she has to get that swing under control. Can she get the left in? Manages to secure her position with the figure 4.
Yeah, now you can see the pump is
yeah, she's
there.
hurting. She's hurting.
Yeah. Why? I don't understand why she decided to go back. She forgot to clip the quick draw.
Yes, man. Good spot. That will cost her dear. Hits it to get it into a swing so that she can hopefully catch it.
Well, I think this is actually similar situation as yesterday for Liam. She has to down climb, which I think this would be her result basically here.
Yes,
I'm afraid
it is.
She's having troubles also with this barrel.
1 minute to go, and it's all going horribly wrong for Valeria Bogdan. Did so well in the speed, but these quick draws have to be clipped in succession, one after the other, and if you miss a quick draw, you will be cooled down.
Well, she decided to climb on this horizontal ice structure and try to flip it from there. I don't know if this is gonna work.
This is not looking good for her. I suspect she will be having a long debrief with herself later today.
Now she made it.
She's made it, but she's only got 20 seconds or thereabouts left on the clock. Still, she's battling on. Battling on. At any moment, the timer will run out. And that is it. Timeout for Valeria Bogdan. Just struggled on that hanging ice there. Missed the clip, absolutely fatal for her attempt. But do you think she can be pleased with her performance?
Well, yeah, I think, I don't know. I mean, I think she's okay with her performance, but probably this quick draw costed her too much time and force, so she could, I believe she could climb at least 1-2 more quick draws. Is the pace she had. So yeah, it's not the best performance, but hopefully we will see how the others climb. So you never know.
One of the athletes did say to me that there's only one athlete in the entire competition who is happy at the end. Everyone else, it's just degrees of unhappiness. Because the second place silver medalist thinks they could have got gold, the bronze thinks maybe they could have done better. Is there an element of truth there?
Well, not really. I mean, I think each athlete is basically just tries to climb his best. And if you know that you perform well, it doesn't matter which place you are. It's basically the competition is just there to help you to show your best performance. At least that's how I try to think about it. And if I know that I climb well, this.
So it's Chang Hyun Lee who is taking off on the men's finals for his bid for podium glory. One of the Korean athletes. The Koreans, they've only got 2 athletes in the final. Conspicuous by his absence is Hyung Park, who failed to qualify yesterday. Last night it was a very, very difficult, very technical semi-final, wasn't it?
Yeah, this was a really technical move, and I guess it's really, yeah, I still really don't understand how some people could make it and some people just like Park fell on this move, because maybe it's also a little bit the matter was about how the peaks were sharpened, because the hold was really slippery, and if you just have a little sharp edge, maybe this just helps you a little bit to stick this move. And yeah, but Yannick did an impressive solution. He found impressive solution, which
that was amazing.
Yes.
That was amazing. Yeah, Yannick just pulls one out the bag, just decides to down tools quite literally and go rock climb the thing. So I'm just getting word that looks like Valeria Bogdan may have been disqualified, because you have to get that quick draw in succession, 7, 8, 9, which she wasn't able to do. Those results will be updated live, so you can always check yourself, have the browser open at uiaa.results.info. But it's Chang Hyun Lee who we're watching here, one of the older athletes of the Korean teams, 48 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite impressive. He's still performing really well.
And his 5th last year here in Cheongsong.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good, and all the technical moves he's doing very well. But unfortunately, you can see that he's a little slower than Nikolai.
So he reaches out onto that ice bollard. Not quite as fast as Nikolai Gusev. Gets that left pick into the high part. Your precision is so important here with your placements. If you hit the red, that's it. That's out of bounds.
So you can see this moves actually looks quite long if you're hanging on the barrel. What Nikolai did, yes, he kicked his feet into the wall, and like this you can get a proper swing and reach it. Yes, he's doing.
So you've really got to get a swing here. Oh, doesn't stick it. Can he recover from that? One arm pull up. With the help of the crowd below, he's done it. Big cheer from hundreds of spectators who've gathered here on the 10th edition of this Cheongsong event. And that's number 3. Number 4, he gets it. Nice.
Well done.
But at what cost to the energy? When you miss something 2 or 3 times, it's got to cost you dearly, hasn't it, in the energy
yes,
tank?
Exactly. Also because it's so, let's say, because you're hanging on the barrel and your feet are like nearly upside down. You're nearly upside down. Your feet are so high, so it's actually a lot of core tension you need to keep your feet and also to push. So I guess he spent quite some energy, some force on this move. But let's see. I mean, he's still looking solid, very solid. Now he takes some time to shake.
So he's got to move up to the right and then up onto that face. Nikolai, remember, got up to the 13th quick draw, which he made with a spectacular dyno. Still some way to go yet for the Korean, and just over 2.5 minutes left for him as he's on this nice barrel.
Number 9.
Yes, it does look like he hasn't made that yet. Has he spotted that yet? He's looking to the right. He's going for that hold.
Yeah, maybe he wants to flip it from the hold.
He needs to be very careful.
That's a long reach also here. It's interesting move because you cannot really push with your feet while you're in the figure. And now he uses the swing.
He's got it.
Barrel. Very nice.
He's got it. Very nice performance.
Let's see if he can. Oh yeah.
He's got it. He needs to be very careful here with his feet as well, that he doesn't step onto that onto the top of the ice bollard. That is out of bounds. You've got to be very careful there. That can be a disqualification if you do that.
Yeah, I think the rules are very strict, so even if you just touch it and you don't really help to progress along the route, you still will be disqualified. Long reach to the next barrel, nice. He's still looking very solid. Still keep on going, this is impressive to see.
Solid performance.
Solid,
Maybe enough to get the podium. We'll see.
We'll see, yeah.
There's still a lot of talent to come. Gets himself into a rocking motion. Extraordinary climbing technique, this. But
yeah,
just
he's losing this. He's trying to use the momentum of the barrel to reach a little bit higher, but it's difficult because the move is a little bit to the right.
He just can't quite reach it.
Yeah.
He's just not high enough. He may need to get his feet a little bit higher. Is that possible?
Yeah, I think also when he does figure, his knee is a little bit too low. I find that he can place it a little bit higher, and now he decided to make his own hold. Oof, this is dangerous. Oof.
It's working. Can he get the hold?
Oh, wow, okay. I mean, this is also a possible. Ooh,
oh,
yes.
No. Didn't work for him.
Yeah, that's the dangerous thing about this when you basically put the ice axe into the.
When you make your own holds, they're just not.
Yeah.
They don't have the security.
Exactly.
And of course, this ice is not like the ice that you find in nature. It's 100% water ice, so it's absolutely rock solid. Very little air content in it. So that's him with that big reach when he got his feet high. And the ice just ripped his tool. Couldn't hold it. So, getting ready on her attempt is the Japanese athlete, Mako Taki, 22 years old.
Yeah, that's great to see some new names in the finals. I don't think May did any other finals before that.
No, this is, well, she was 14th in China last weekend, but we're seeing a lot of new emerging talents here. Perhaps it's quite appropriate. I mean, we've been coming here for 10 years, and 10 years ago there were some familiar names back on the podium. In 2011 it was none other than Maria Tolokanina and Unsan Shin on the podium, and they've had their decade, their reign has lasted a decade, so perhaps it's time we'll see some younger athletes emerging.
Yeah, that would be good to see some new names, some new maybe styles.
Whether Mako Taki will be one of those remains to be seen. Taking it pretty steady. She seems a little bit nervous. Does that look about right?
Yeah, exactly. She looks a little bit tense on each move, and taking it, yeah, just takes a lot of time to reposition herself. So I also find like she puts her feet quite high up. So this costs her actually quite a lot of energy to do every move. So let's see how much reserve she has. She's got, but this looks quite demanding.
Notice that she just put her left hand on that yellow volume. It seems as though they've all been taking a leaf out of Yannick Glatthard's playbook there, and when in doubt, put the tool over your shoulder and slap a hand on the hold.
Yeah, I guess it's difficult to repeat Yannick's performance. I mean, there are only few maybe volumes which you can use really with your hands here.
So she's an athlete I mentioned earlier, where if you look closely, you can see that it's got 3 different holds on the shaft of her tool.
Yeah, so I believe these are also modified, slightly modified, the tools to have the 3 handles. And for some athletes, yeah, it works very well. You can always change your hands. You can, while you're in the figure, you can basically sweep your hands and keep the same leg on the figure.
We saw some of the guys training with them in Seoul, in one of the gyms. And it seems that's where a lot of the Japanese athletes, because there are very few dry tooling facilities in Japan, public ones anyway, so a lot of them do come over here to train in Korea. Doesn't stick that side pull on the first or the second attempt. Is it good on the third? Ooh, no!
Nice.
No, it's not. She looks up. It's all over. What went wrong there?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems to me like she was again with her feet so high up that the move just looked really hard, and she couldn't keep her handle close to the wall, and yeah, it just popped off. So
how important is your accuracy, your placement accuracy?
Yeah, actually, I remarked that here in Korea, the root setters put a lot of wrap holds where you have to, you put your pick not straight on the hold, but you kind of wrap it around.
Wrap it around, yeah.
And this requires, you actually cannot put too much of a wrap on the hold. So this requires a lot of precision.
So on the men's side, we have about to begin his ascent is Mohammad Reza Safdarian. And he will at least be a lot happier today, because at least he is climbing in his own equipment. His stuff all got lost on the flight. His baggage didn't turn up. So he's made it this far on borrowed equipment and a pair of boots that were the wrong size. So hats off to this guy.
Yeah, that's impressive.
He's always incredible to watch, isn't he? He's a very fast climber.
Yes, he's very fast climber, and yeah, it seems like he just goes for it without thinking too much. He doesn't really, yeah, I mean, he's just on fire. Every time I watch him climbing, it looks like, yeah, all or nothing.
He's one to watch. He's almost as exciting as Yannick Glatthard. But he's also proof that you don't need to have a reach like Dmitry Grebennikov. He's quite a small guy, Mohammad Reza.
Yeah, and he's using also quite a lot of momentum to reach long reaches, and it works fine for him. So yeah.
Like Kuzovlev, he also competed in the speed and placed 14th. So a little bit disappointing performance in that. And he'll be hoping that perhaps this time he can do better.
Well, I don't think Mohammad is really training speed, like, let's say, in order to show a good, solid result. I think he's more concentrated on lead climbing, so speed was just maybe a warm-up for him for final.
Well, he was second last weekend in Changchun. Look how delicate that is. Just the poise. Commits to the move and moves very, very quickly. Takes his time getting the placement right and then moves quickly with the feet. That seems to be the secret, the passport to working through these challenges. Over into the 4. Gets these. He's about to give us a masterclass by the looks of it, from Fig 4 to Fig 9. Can you give a little overview and explainer on how these particular moves work? Why do you go into the Fig 4 and the Figure 9?
Yeah, basically you do Figure 9, that you arrive for the Figure 4 for the, let's say, on the right hand. So normally you plan which hold you will take with which ice axe, and to do the move from Figure 4 is always easier because it's more stable position, let's say. So that's why you put your that's why you make figure 9 in order to arrive with the right hand on the upper handle.
And he is just making these moves, moving so swiftly through them.
Yeah, Mohammad is known for moving quite fast across the figure, let's say, figure moves. So he's not gonna waste so much time here.
But it cost him in Changchun. He went all out in the final, and then just one of his tools popped near the top, which cost him the lead, the gold. Let's see how he is doing.
First try, very nice. He's not. Ooh.
Still.
Oh wow, this was a little slip on the top of the barrel.
Well, did very lucky to escape that one. 4 minutes, just under 4 minutes left. So he's still got very good time. Very good time indeed. It seems as though he has rediscovered his 2018 form when he took the gold in Rabenstein. But let's see, let's not tempt fate as he goes for this
nice
high hold that the Korean Chang Hyun Lee couldn't make. He just took a little bit of effort there to extract his tool. I suppose when you hook your tool into one of those ice bollards and really sink it in, sometimes it can be a bit difficult to extract.
Yeah, he's also, the length of his tools is just exactly the length of the barrels, or the width or the height of the barrel. So it just got stuck a little bit with the handle. Here is the delicate move coming.
Very delicate. 3 goes to get this right at the very limit of his reach. What's he going to do?
Nice.
Oh, he's got to get the tool. Is it a wrap? It looks like one of those wrap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
2 wraps. Yeah.
And you've got to just get the very front of your pick on
exactly.
it.
Yeah. Exactly. And you have to keep the load on the left ice axis in order to move there. So you kind of have to keep the load on both ice axes when you move from right to left. He's done it very well.
2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes left.
Wow, that's I would say it's faster than Nikolai so far.
Nikolai will be looking possibly a little bit nervous.
Oh wow. So here he wraps, in my opinion, a little bit too. Now he corrects it a little bit and removes the tool.
Oh, still a move. Oh, just did you see the pick just change position there? He likes to live dangerously, does old Mohammad Reza Safdarian. But what a superstar. He's got massive following in Iran, which is hosting the Asian Cup next month. Excuse me, in March.
Nice. Long reach here. Still enough juice to run.
Is he gonna do a massive dyno like Kozlovlev? First, he's got to get that very high hold off with the left, so he matches with the right hand. Is he going to match or matches with the hand?
I think he's gonna go for a figure here.
You think?
Let's see.
Let's see. We're watching Mohammad Reza. Iran is watching. Matches tools. Decides to shake out the right hand. He's got to commit to the move now.
I know.
Just gets that left. Both feet.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, no.
Wow.
So close. So what happened? He as you said, he went to fig 4, but the security of that hold obviously just wasn't there.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he just also, while he was putting his foot over the tool, he turned the tool a little bit, and this was just enough to basically pop off the tool from the.
It doesn't take much, does it? Just
exactly.
The smallest shift in body weight. He looks like he could be happier. So look, there we are. The tool looks in a solid place. Just popped. Very disappointing for Mohammad Reza. So next up we switch to the women, where Sun Ah-son from Korea is about to begin her ascent. Very young athlete, 17 years old, and has a bit of a background in the competition scene. And she makes quite an aggressive start there. Fast start. Young talent.
Yeah, it's a new competitor. I've never seen her before in the finals, so it's interesting to see.
Yeah, she's not the only female climber to emerge from sport climbing. She's got youth on her side, but experience not so much. So in your opinion, Nikolai, what trumps youth versus experience?
Well, I guess from my point of view, experience experience maybe plays a little more important role, but as you can see, sometimes if the route allows, let's say, where you don't really need, so you don't have so technical moves, maybe youth is what you need.
But certainly the youth, what they don't have is the psychological experience to manage energy. I mean, how important is it to manage your energy levels?
No, this is really important. I think on the all like top level performance sport, the mental part is really important. But I don't know, there are some young athletes who are just born with nice mental altitude, and ooh, what happened? Oh, she's off.
She's just come off there. She had that going for that high right hand move.
Wow, that's
now
unexpected.
if this was in qualifiers, she would get another attempt to go back up, but because this is obviously the finals, no such attempt is allowed. Wow. So disappointing for the 17-year-old.
Yeah, I guess she a little bit interpreted this move, and that's, I don't think you really need to do with figure here, this move.
Yeah, she just couldn't. It looked like the direction she needed to
yes.
be pulling from, get her body tension a little bit over to the right to secure that hold. You couldn't just pull down on it. So that's it for Sun Ason. Next will be over to the men for Young Hey-Kwon. What can you tell us about Kwon?
Well, Kwon is also quite, let's say, in age athlete, but I mean, his style is also really, really nice to watch. He's very, when he climbs, he looks very light, and he does all the moves, technical moves, with very, very good precision and technique. So, yeah, it's a very experienced climber as well. I believe he's also a very strong rock climber, and
if you just tuned in, you're listening to myself, Tarkwan Cooper, and my co-commentator, Nikolai Primarov, who is himself a competitor here. So we're very thankful to him for joining us here in the studio. Nikolai, you came 9th in the speed and 11th in the lead. So how was your tournament here in Cheongsong?
well, I mean, yeah, I was basically more training lead for this season, and yeah, it was a little bit unfortunate for me this fall after the hard move. Basically, I did the hard move, but then I fell on the next hold, which was, yeah, it's okay. I'm still super happy that I did this move. Maybe a little bit lost concentration on the next move.
So we're looking at young Hey-Kwon. Again, one of the older athletes. He turns 47 this year. He's taking a good long last look at the route, but he can't take too long because athletes have just 1 minute from the moment they step up to rope up and get started. Otherwise, they can be yellow carded for taking too long. If they start getting the binoculars out, definitely not encouraged. So it looks like he's got some tape on his arm.
Yeah, I actually wonder if this is really like because of the medical purposes, or he just puts it, when he makes the figure, it just sticks better. He's taking also the beginning very careful.
Well, I guess the nerves for athletes are very, very high at the beginning, and you just want to make sure that you have a clean start, don't you?
Yes, yes, yes. Especially after the very, very technical semifinals. So maybe some athletes are thinking, okay, I need to do the vertical part of the route with high precision.
He's making steady progress up to that first little overhanging bit. So the ice box, we've got Nikolai Gusev and Sina Gertz, the current leaders. They get to watch proceedings, perhaps a little bit nervously, especially when talent like Kwon is on the scene and looking strong and dangerous. Steeply overhanging just this little section here as he moves up to get clip number 4. Very important for athletes just to get that clip as early as possible. Right hand side pull on that to steady his position and clips at waist height. Nikolai, is there a preference for athletes? Are there any pros or cons to clipping early? I mean, the earlier the better, the sooner you can get the points, and that seems to be the most important thing. But from an efficiency point of view, it seems that clipping when it's at waist height is a bit easier.
Yeah, exactly. So I have my strategy that if I feel like, okay, I'm still not pumped and I still have force, then I don't clip too early, because this, exactly as you said, it takes much more time to take the rope, to reach for the quick draw, to clip it. So, because, okay, if you fall in the beginning of the final, I don't think it's going to help you if you clip one more quick draw or not. But
so Kwon moves on to the first of the ice barrels, or ice candy as the route setters refer to them.
Yeah, but you see Kwon prefers to clip earlier. Let's see how it
pans out for the Korean athlete.
Nice. Now he puts directly his feet up.
Yes, we've seen some other athletes do that from a fig 4 position.
Well done. His first long, difficult move. Kwon did it first goal.
So seeing the leg rest on his taped arm. Not sure whether could the tape actually help with the fig 4?
Well, maybe it just adds a little friction, let's say, that the knee is not sliding, I don't know, too low, but
perhaps it's psychological.
Maybe
gives him if he thinks it's going to help stick, perhaps that's all he needs.
Yeah, exactly.
As he gets that 8th clip. A little bit of an awkward move this one, the reach, just to get that hold, but it looks like he's got a very solid purchase there. Very nicely done from the Korean athlete as he moves on to the ice barrel number 3.
Yeah, so far Kwon moves very efficiently. So here comes the long moves. Let's see how he makes them.
Just over 3 minutes left on the clock for Kwon. Sticks it.
Nice.
It's looking strong.
Yeah, looking very solid.
I mean, he's going steady. He is going steady. Reaches and gets that 10th clip. I wonder how Nikolai Gusev is feeling right now. Still a way to go for Kwon.
I don't think Nikolai is really nervous. He did a solid performance, so he has nothing to fear. I mean, so he's just watching and enjoying.
Missed it on the first, got it on the second. Big shouts for Kwon from the crowd below. He's on home soil, which does give another psychological boost to hear the spectators and fans cheering. Although, can you actually hear people shouting from below, with people shouting your name?
Well, you kind of hear it in the background, so I guess it still helps. I guess the home crowd really put you into the zone and put you into the flow. Let's say I think this helps, at least for me. Yannick, for example, prefers not to hear the crowd, so it's really personal again. Wow,
Reaches over, steps over, very nicely done onto that yellow volume. Looking strong here, Kwon.
Yes, he's still moving fast.
Minute and a half or thereabouts as he gets the 11th clip. So this would put him certainly into 3rd place. Still several other athletes to come after him. You'll really want to bank the 12th to be sure of a good performance here. Preferably number 13 as well.
Oh.
Swaps hands. Looks like he's feeling a bit tired.
Yes, it seems like the pump now hits in.
1 minute.
So 1 minute, he needs to move if he wants to outclimb Nikolai. Now
Got that hold.
He needs to be careful there. That's where Mohammad fell.
He gets the clip. He's got 12.
He goes for figure 4.
The figure 4. So this is where Mohammad Reza Safdarian fell. Oh, he needs to work on his accuracy if he's going to get that. It's going to be close with the time.
Nice. Ow.
He's got it.
Oh,
no! Oh, the frustration. The frustration. But what a performance from Kwon. Raises an arm. There's a big smile, look. He looks pretty worked.
Good performance, I think, for Kwon. He could maybe control a little bit the transition from the figure, but yeah, it's a technical move, so difficult to say.
So he had the right, the left just shifted the position of the pick there, and he was off. But he only had about 10 seconds left on the clock, so whether it would have been enough. Now, look who we have here. This is none other than a Choi Hyun-saw. She may not be instantly recognizable, but this is the 16-year-old who's been taking sport competition by storm. She won 4 out of 6 stops last year. She wanted to compete in the ice climbing last year, but wasn't able to. She's too young, so she's only 16.
Wow,
but
that's crazy.
Amazing sport climber, and the fact that she's already just powered away through those first opening moves, looking like she means business. Hers could be a name we see much of in the coming years. Let's see whether it's enough to get her a place. Bronze, silver, gold. There's Sina Gertz looking anxiously on. No doubt she'll be secretly, perhaps, she'd be lying if she said that she wouldn't be a little bit happy if young Saw would fall off. But
nicely done, huh? I mean, I don't know. I still feel like she's using maybe a little bit too much of her arm force, because yeah, I don't know if she trains a lot with ice axes. Maybe she's more training rock climbing.
What are the disadvantages or advantages from coming from rock climbing?
Well, okay, obvious advantages: you have forearm training, very good training and conditioning, and of course you have strong finger force, so you can maybe hold some holds with hands. That's what Petra Klinger from Switzerland quite often does. But I can see a little bit that, yeah, she basically climbs with her arms. Let's say her feet are not working that much. And let's see. I mean, if she has a lot of reserve, maybe it will be enough to climb the whole route. But I believe she will have to slow down in the second part, because it's difficult to climb only with her hands.
Allows herself a little shake there to make that 8th clip. Goes into the Fig 4. Because yeah, in dry tooling you have much fewer much less options with your feet, don't you, with your rock climbing? It's much more intensive on your shoulders as a result.
Yes, yes. So exactly, it's a lot of on the core and on the back. Basically, you just need to do a lot of pull-ups and some figuring. Requires a lot of core and some. Ooh, oh wow, what happened?
Oh dear. Well, it looks like she is yet to take ice climbing by storm for Choi Hyun-saw.
Wow, yeah, this is an unexpected fall.
Did well to make the finals. Have to remember she's only 16 years old, so she made the finals.
Yeah, I mean, this is great. This is awesome performance, and I think if she continues, she will just get the experience and technique for ice climbing, and probably she will rock it in the coming years. Let's see.
Let's see, indeed. So this is her on the replay.
I think just unloaded the side pull a little bit.
Yeah.
Difficult to say.
Well, I guess it just shows that some of these holds are really not secure at all. They're very, very skatey, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. And this is the side pull where you really need to keep your tension, let's say, like a side pull tension always on. And I guess she just loaded a little bit too, just basically straight down. And this.
Look who's just appeared.
Oh, this is the Swiss Air.
Yannick Glatthard. He is always fun to watch, this boy. So if you've just tuned in, your timing is amazing, because this is one of the most exciting climbers on the whole of the tour. Yannick Glatthard, 22 years old, and an extraordinary tour de force. And it was just amazing to watch him yesterday in the semi-finals. Climber after climber struggled on this one particular hold in the semis, and he took his time, and we're thinking he's taking his time. He's trying to work the way around it, thinking, trying to shift his body position, and then he just kind of thought, sod it, slung a tool over his shoulder and rock climbed over the top.
Yeah, this was a quite impressive performance, and also smart thinking from Yannick. I mean, he understood that it's difficult to perform the move how he planned it, and he changed his mind, and which is really nice to see, really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, afterwards I spoke to him and he said, well, that was the way to climb it. So very bold climber as well. He likes to live dangerously. I think fans.
Yeah. And Yannick, you can see he's taken a little care also in the beginning of the route, but what I can say for sure that Yannick can definitely speed up once he's like on the figuring or more secure holds. He has like endless reserve. So
well, he will have plenty of reserves in the tank. He was in Yosemite for a month, so we can expect him to be in tip-top condition. He wasn't in China last weekend, so this is his first appearance on the tour. Just moves up swiftly through that hold, very high right foot there, matches with the left. I think
just checking the hold.
Yeah, has a look. The body tension there looks kind of next level.
Yeah, Yannick is taking it super careful here.
It's interesting that he's a guy who you see moving very quickly between the quick draws on some occasions, and then on others he can be super careful.
Yeah. So yes, Yannick, before actually a couple of years ago, he was just quick and he was just falling from some moves, technical moves, and now he got his experience, and now he really knows when to slow down and when to check the hold. If he's not just rushing it over.
Let's see him work these ice barrels now. Are we going to get a masterclass from Yannick Glatthard?
So let's see how Yannick solves this. He's trying to do it from figure.
So it gets into a swing,
Nicely
sticks
done.
it with the second attempt, and moves across. Really, it's such an acrobatic display, isn't it? This isn't really ice climbing as most people know it. This is aerial ice climbing.
Yeah, that's basically in Korea. Here you have such a big structure, so you can put a very nice route, long and with a lot of different moves.
This structure is amazing, actually. It's the biggest structure on the whole of the tour, 30 meters in height. One of the biggest. I suppose it's one of the most intimidating for athletes as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very unique, how can I say, surfaces and inclinations of the surfaces. Oh, Yannick needs to clip the quick draw, or maybe he decided to clip it from the...
Yeah, we saw one of the other athletes clip it slightly higher up. Is he going to try and get that? Nice, but he...
Yannick.
Don't forget that quick draw number 9. Good boy.
Okay.
Nope, hasn't got it. Does well to get it on the swing.
Very nicely done.
Can he go straight into number 10?
Yannick.
Yannick.
Having troubles to clip. Okay.
Gets it.
That's it.
3 minutes remaining. Still a good time, but he can't hang around.
No, Yannick needs to move now all the time. Let's see how he sticks the move. First goal, really nice.
So he's now, it seems like he's a man possessed, really, moving very quickly now. He's aware that he would have wasted time clipping that 10th quick draw. And that hold looks absolutely solid. One of those wraps. Here's another, it's one of the wraps that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, so here, nicely done, Yannick.
This is where we will see him come into his own. We will see his true mettle. What's it going to be? Seen a couple of athletes come off here. Is Yannick the man to better Nikolai Gusev?
Yeah, for some reason Yannick still...
He's having trouble with these quick draws. That's the second time he's failed to clip it efficiently, and that is a valuable waste of time, but he makes that move onto that little yellow volume.
Oh. A little sketchy.
Nikolai Gusev looking on. Can't watch.
Oh. Yannick needs to be a little bit more careful
He
here.
needs to, I think he's realised that you can't just swing yourself up. He needs to be a little bit more cautious, perhaps.
Yeah.
Not something the young 22-year-old is used to. Has he got it?
He's got it.
He's very careful, just needs to be so precise with his feet. Get that 10th draw, just a little bit of rope drag, it seemed there, to get it up. Change his hands into the fig 4. Has he got it? Lots of shouts from below as Yannick sticks that hold, matches with the right. And this is the final performance now with the clock ticking. It's approaching,
no!
Just with 30 seconds left on the clock, and he's still shrug of the shoulders. The frustration showing on his face.
Thank you so much for showing us your breathtaking skill.
Well, nice performance from Yannick anyway. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, he'll be happy perhaps with that performance. Still, Nikolai Gusev is safe in pole position. Now over to the women. Who is this taking off? It is from Russia. We know it's from Russia because they wear those distinctive sort of pink purpley tops. Ekaterina Vlasova. What can you tell us about her?
Well, Katya is from Moscow. I know that she's living there and training there with Pavel Dobrinsky. And
she's a very, very technical climber. I also like her, like to see her climbing. She's always, yeah, I mean, she's doing all the technical moves very, very steadily and yes, very solid normally. So I guess for Katja, the problem is always just a mental battle. She just needs to believe in herself and her experience, and she has lots of experience. And yeah, she just needs to go for it. And I think she has all the attributes to be on the podium. So let's see how she does it here.
Well, a bold statement. Let's see. She just checks with the left before committing to that hold.
Yeah, she's a little bit careful also in the beginning. Oh, we already saw one climber falling from figure here. Oof. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that hold is causing a little bit problems. It seems like you can't quite take it front on. You've got to get your weight off to the side.
Wow. Okay, Katja did it.
Has she done it? Yeah. Yeah, it seems you've got to be off to the right-hand side and pull from the side for that to hold.
Yeah, and here is the switch from one side hold to the other side, which is also quite tense move. And now it's coming a long move. So nicely
Big
done.
Reach up left there. So far, so good for the Russian. One of 3 Russians in the final. The others being Valeria Bogdan and, of course, Maria Tolokonina. Tries the...
Yeah, that's, you can see actually the athletes who are not from around here, they all basically try to understand sometimes the holds. They try to touch it with the hand and see if they really read the working surface correctly. So this costs a little bit of time, of course.
Am I right in thinking there's a real like a second-hand market in holds here at the in Cheongsong? You climbers, you'll all be looking around to borrow and barter and buy different holds to take back home and practice on.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is yeah. You should basically, if you train it on your home structure, you should have the holds from all venues basically, because this is really for you to understand how the hold works and what to expect. So if you can get some of the holds, it could be really good.
Big cheers we can hear from the fans, from her fellow Russian teammates as well. So have you picked up some holds yourself to take back to Switzerland?
Well, I asked, so let's see if it's gonna work.
So Ekaterina is the first athlete since Valeria Bogdan to get onto this ice bollard, and she's not made the same mistake as her teammate by getting that clip early on. And she can now concentrate, reaches over onto that swinging barrel.
So yeah, if Katja wants to be on the podium, she needs to move past these ice elements quite quickly. This is where the time runs.
Speed is the key. But she's a very strong climber.
I find also it's very important on these long routes, you really need to breathe deep from the beginning of the route, because if you start doing this kind of technical tense moves and you stop breathing for a while, you just run out of breath at some
But
point.
how difficult must it be to breathe? Because half the time you've got a tool in your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. This also prevents you from proper breathing, and that's why you really need to force yourself. You just need to, every move, you need to do a couple of deep breaths. Otherwise you just get pumped. Katja is taking some time now to shake off.
So she is a former silver medalist. But in 2018, she finished 4th on every stop of the World Tour, which must have been a bittersweet experience, being so close to a podium. but not succeeding. Very strenuous moves there, but she's looking confident as she reaches up onto that next ice volume.
Well, okay, 1 minute 40, so time is running out for Katja. She needs to crank the gears a little bit up if she wants to be on the podium, I believe.
So she's got a long way to go. Sina Gertz looking a little bit nervous, but Ekaterina's got to get to the 13th quick draw if she is to knock Sina Gertz off the podium position.
Yeah, so...
And with just over a minute to go, yeah, it's looking, the odds are against her, but a podium is definitely a possibility as she now goes for that wrap hold, moves over with her feet quickly into the Fig 9. Big shouts now from below. Very tense. She knows that she's got to fight now. She's got to give it her all. Kicks confidently with the right leg, shakes the left, grabs the tool just a little bit higher up, shakes both arms out. She knows it's now or never. This is her finals attempt here in Cheongsong. Pulls the rope through, gets that 12th quick draw, so that's already, she's in the silver position. The clock is ticking, less than 30 seconds left. Do you think she can do it? Do you think, yes or no?
Well, it's difficult to say. If she takes care...
10 seconds.
Well, 10
clock
seconds.
Clock is running.
I think.
Unlikely to happen, but she might get into the silver. She's got the points from that hold.
Yeah, it's time over for Katja. Well,
Yeah,
good performance.
what a performance there. Very solid. But Sina Gertz remains in the first place.
Yeah, that means Sina is already on the podium, I believe.
That
At
should
least
be the
third.
case. So she made that 12th quick draw. Let's see. She looks... Is that a happy face? You know her better than I do. Difficult to say.
Difficult to say, yes. Katja doesn't show so much emotions. I don't know.
I guess it's like what I said earlier. There's only one person who is happy at the end of this. She grabs a jacket and heads off. So from France, we have Nathan Claire.
Okay, this is the machine from France.
Psyching himself up, and it's great, you know, you wait 20 odd years for a promising French athlete to come along, and then 3 come along at once.
Yeah.
Literally the last gold France got was in 2002, and Luna Ladevant was the first Frenchman to get the gold last weekend in Changchun, but it was Nathan Claire who really broke the France's drought in medals by getting 2 medals last year, silver and a bronze in China and Italy. But he can be a little bit erratic.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Nathan's style is really powerful. It's a lot of power in upper body, and she does all the move with basically just his back and his it's a
With weight, it's called Frenches, you know, you just pull up, you hold yourself in a lock position for 10 seconds, then you just go a little bit lower for 90 degrees and hold. Wow, okay, Nathan does it very careful here.
So yeah, we're all holding our breath. Natan just making this opening sequence. Moves and gets 6th clip. A little bit of a shake there on
you can
the right.
see how strenuous his hands are always, no? It just, for me, it seems like crazy. Look at this, he's just hanging with...
So strong.
Wow. Well, this is also a
typical French style. They don't like to do figure fours. They prefer just
front on.
Yeah, just one hand pull-ups.
Well, if you've got the strength of this boy, maybe you can get away with that.
Yeah, I mean,
reaches up. Let's see him make this move.
Yeah.
Gets into the swing.
Okay.
Misses it on the first. Misses the second. Third time lucky. Fourth time. Go for the fifth. Number 6.
Yeah, I think for Nathan he really needs to maybe to work a little bit on his efficiency, because it's nice to have so much force, but he just needs to keep it for a little longer on the route. So here he sticks it.
I think that was number 8, if I'm not mistaken. Lost a lot of time and energy there for the French climber with the bib number of 007. The James Bond fans will appreciate that. That hole just looks horrible. It just looks like there's nothing there.
Yeah, I think it's only the look of it, because I mean nobody had any troubles there, so I think it's not so bad as long as you're in the figure 4 position there.
So reaches now onto this third ice bollard. Into the fig 4. He's going to reach up and get that. He gets that clip. Oh, tries to get it early on. What's he going to do? Is he going to leave his tool in there? No. He's going to try and get a little bit
I think he decided
later on.
Yes,
well,
later on.
As we discussed earlier, sometimes there are pros and there are cons to clipping early. And if you get the clip early, obviously that's a massive advantage. But if you then waste time and energy and you don't make the clip, gets into the swing, sticks it there with the right. So now
needs to be careful with his feet now.
Get clip number 9.
Nice. Allez, Nathan.
So there are approximately 3 minutes left for Nathan. And he's looking like the podium could be a possibility if he is able to move effortlessly through this next sequence of moves. But there's some of the hardest of the entire route that lay ahead.
Nice.
Good stick there with the right. Very, very secure with the feet. I guess you have to kick so hard into that wood.
Yeah, on the ceiling it's really difficult to keep your feet on the wall, so you really need to kick hard and have a good core tension to keep it up. Nathan is doing really great so far. Careful on this move.
It's wrapped.
Really nice.
Whoa.
Wow.
He's looking shaken, not stirred. Reaches with the left. Swings round. He is doing so well.
Yeah, he's doing very well.
Gets that 11th clip, but this is where it all counts. He's still got about a minute, just over a minute and a half. But this is where the men are separated from the boys.
Ooh.
Whoa, this is very dangerous for Nathan Clare. Can he recover and get it under control from a one-armed, hanging off one arm? He manages to recover, shake out his left, steady his position. How dangerous is he right now?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think the pumps really is coming now, and Nathan needs to be a little bit more efficient now.
I mean, that tool is in a pretty secure position, but it's so close, this.
He needs to be really precise on this move.
He's on a knife edge here. And it all comes down to the next few moves with less than a minute to go.
Oh, wow.
So there are 3 athletes so far who've got the 12th quick draw. So he has to get that 12th quick draw if he is to get on the podium.
Yeah, he needs to really be precise and not to swing too much when he reaches the next hold. He really just needs to... Yes.
No, and now the clock is really ticking. There is less than 30 seconds, so he's being so careful, but he's just got to move. The pressure matches with the right, so delicate, but the clock is ticking. Will it be enough? He's got to be so quick. The time, he doesn't make it. He doesn't make it. That is so unfortunate, but arm aloft.
Good performance from
He waves to the crowd.
Please give it a big round of applause. Thank you so much for your acclamation.
He looks up, nods to team. Oh, there's a little wink from the Frenchman. God, look how out of breath he is. He is pretty worked. Absolutely panting for breath there. Are we going to see a smile from him? So this is him moving through that ice bollard. Sticks with the right, and this is where he nearly came off, just hanging on one arm. He did so well to recover. He could have popped there. It could all have been over right then and there. So he did well to recover until the time ran out. So over to the women. It is Eun Shin. Let's see how she'll find this women's route. And if I was Sina Gertz right now, I would be feeling pretty nervous. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, of course, Sina knows that Eun Shin is really strong and in good shape this year. So, yeah, I mean, if she doesn't do any mistake, I believe she can top the route. So let's see how she
made it look easy last weekend in Cheongsong. I mean, she topped the she clearly got the better of Maria Tolokonina, topping the route in almost a minute quicker, and she didn't look stressed at all. But in qualification, Tolokonina has got the better of Shin this time around. But really, the story of the last decade is very much their rivalry. They've shared. Can you believe they've shared 63 podiums between them since 2008, and it's really kind of neck and neck. Of those, 33 go to Maria and 30 go to Eun Shin.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah,
but yeah, it's the gold wear that counts, and so Maria is definitely on the lead. Then Maria has 19 golds to Eun 10 golds, and Maria has 6 silvers to Eun 17 silvers. And Maria again is richer in the bronzes, 8 to Eun 3 bronze medals. So absolutely fascinating duel these two athletes have been having over the last 15 years, and particularly here in Cheongsong, where we've been coming for 10 years now.
Yeah, I believe Eun really wants to win here and at her home venue. So
she's got the home turf advantage, that's for sure. But there are only 2 years overall where she's had the advantage over Tolokonina, and that was 2011 and 2018. But let's see what happens in 2020.
Yeah, so far looks really easy and solid, and no problems at all. So
all hopes really are on her from the home crowd, aren't they? Now, what with Hyung Park not making the men's finals, so all eyes will be on this so talented climber, 39 years old, one of the really top performing athletes of the last 20 years.
Yeah, that's impressive. I mean, 39 years old, and she still
she still rocks. She still
rocks,
cranks
yeah.
it. As she's doing here on this, making easy work of this ice bollard. This little traversey section. We've seen a lot of athletes actually use the bollard to their advantage, getting it into a swing, but when it's kind of just moving slightly, like now, is it quite difficult? Does that upset your balance?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess the most problem is like, the problematic thing is really to get the momentum in the right direction, because if the barrel starts swinging against your move, then it really doesn't help you. Then you prefer like the barrel doesn't move at all. So
I don't think she's bothered either way, looking at her performance.
yeah, this is absolutely flawless. It's just, yeah, she's just cruising it.
Still with 3.5 minutes left on the timer.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, if I was Sina Gertz, I would be a little bit anxious.
Yeah.
Reaches up onto that wrap hold. Hangs, swings over. Still with 3 minutes, and there is Sina Gertz, currently in pole position, looking on, smiling, nervously smiling, I think. So it looks like Eun Shin has almost cleared that steeply overhanging roof, and now makes her way onto the final section, the face of this climb, and gets clip number 12. So if she can get number 13, she's at least guaranteed a podium. Big shouts from the home crowd. And here she is. She's certainly got the bronze with that. Is it enough to claim gold? She just plays with that, doesn't she? Just to see which way it goes.
Wow.
This is where Sina came off. She's certainly got time on the clock. 2 minutes left. So she can really afford to take her time here, but cannot afford to make a single mistake.
So she took it the same way as Sina. Wow.
Just has
The switch.
a look to see. Is it okay? It's nerve-wracking stuff, this. Reaches up onto that wrap hold. No! And she's off.
Wow.
Big wave to the crowd. It looks like she reached exactly the same point as Sina Gertz, but she'll have to wait till the official judge score appears before we know who has the better. Do you already have an idea of who got the higher on the route?
Even if it's exactly the same score, I think Shin should be now positioned higher because of the semi-final results. So I guess Sina now is on second place.
So she got her left arm over. It looked like it was good, but it just ripped that left pick.
Yeah, this is this hang holds where you need to keep your handle really next to the wall. This is so delicate.
Sina looks like she's packing her bags. Her time in the ice box is over.
Well, it's still impressive for Sina with
I mean,
broken rib. And
exactly, you've got to remember Sina Gertz broke her rib 3 weeks ago and has been in actually acute pain. Eun Shin. So let's have a look now over to the men's, where we have Dmitry Grebenikov beginning his ascent. Big guy, isn't he?
Well, yeah, Dima is a massive, basically huge guy. Really tall, really wide shoulders, and he's from Barnaul city in Russia. It's Altai region. So apparently the guys are really big there. Yeah, and I mean, what I like in Dima's style, he's got the power, but he also climbs quite smartly. He also climbs
quite efficiently. So yeah, I mean, you need to hold this I don't know how many, 90 kilos probably. So you still need to use your feet properly, otherwise you get pumped probably very quickly if you just hang all the time on the ice tool.
Yeah, it's not necessarily an advantage then
Yeah.
to be such a big guy as him.
Yeah. Here he needs to be really careful to keep his feet on the wall. Let's see, nice. Very nice.
So
Yeah.
he doesn't often make the podium, does he? He's a regular on the tour. He often places in the top 10.
Yeah.
So let's see if he can get a little bit further up in the rankings.
Yeah, I think here he's got a very nice chance now. If he just executes everything here nice and smooth, I believe Dima has really good chances here now to be placed on the podium.
Let's see.
Well, he puts his left foot a little bit,
Is he in a danger zone?
yeah, a little bit on the edge, I don't know.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if the judges spotted that.
Yeah, I believe for Dmitry, this overhanging part is actually, yeah, it might cost quite a lot of power, so he really needs to cruise it through quickly and efficiently and not waste time doing moves 10 times and clipping the quick draws. Yeah, let's see. So far,
So
pretty
good.
good, yeah. So far, so good.
Shake out with the left. With that whopping wingspan of his, this should be no problem. It almost looks like it's too close for him.
Yeah.
I don't think he has the largest wingspan of all. That might go to the American Wesley Fowler, who has a wingspan of almost 2 meters.
Oh, wow.
Russian teammates looking on. Speed champion Anton Yemov. So let's see. Is it going to be Russia on the podium of the lead? Could it be a 1-2? So this hold is pretty good, as you say.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
You just got to get into the 4 and get onto that next hanging block of ice. Clock is approximately 4 minutes. So far, so good.
Yes, Dima is moving quite good. So let's see if he wants to clip from here or he prefers to clip it from the volume, which is, I think, a smart move.
Dilemmas. He goes for the rest. Confident he'll get that clip if he makes that next move. So he's going for the move. Quite a big reach, and he gets it first time with that enormous reach of his, and then can easily make that clip number 9. And a lot easier to get that clip number 9 from that position than earlier, and is able to go straight for number 10. Has he got it? He has. So the roof is almost over, just one more barrel of ice before he's got to move up onto the face, traverse left, and then some very sketchy moves, and then he's in the lead. And the clock is ticking with about 2 minutes, just under 3 minutes to go to do that. No pressure, Dmitry Grebennikov.
Yeah, let's see if Dima has enough juice to cruise a little bit for another 2 minutes here. Oh, okay. Now he's a little bit having troubles. Pump starts to settle in. Yeah. Come on, Dmitry. Not hitting it first time. Taking some time to prepare for the move.
Gives a big shake of the left and the right. Let's see what his phenomenal guns of his can do. He gets it. Matches the hands. You can tell he's feeling the pump now. The number of times he's shaking out the arms, almost shaking them out before every move.
Yeah, now you can really see it. So,
and this is where you just hemorrhage time, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. So now it's getting harder for Dima, but hopefully if he does the next move, it's a little bit more positive wall, so maybe he can recover a little bit. Let's see, but okay.
It's looking good. Very solid placement there. He must be happy with that.
Now he has possibility to recover, but he doesn't have time, I believe. Now he has to really move on. Here comes the...
Oh! Loses the right. No. Whoa, quite a big drop that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, you can see also to stop the swing, he didn't really have enough power in the hand to keep it.
He was pumped.
He was a little
He's pretty happy. Look, there's a smile there from him. Big kiss to the audience, to the fans. What more could I do, as he said? What more could I do? Look, I had my right hand there. That was bomber. That was super secure. I got my left over, and then the right just rips. And, you know, as strong as I am, wasn't able to do more.
nice performance from Dmitry.
Great performance from Dmitry. So I was going to ask you, actually, you're from Russia but live in Switzerland, but do you have who do you want to win? Do you have a preference for a Russian athlete or a Swiss one?
Well, I always think that the strongest should win. So, and this is
very diplomatic of you, very diplomatic. So let's have a look. We've got Maria Tolokonina, and did I say her name right there?
Tolokonina, yes.
Tolokonina.
Yeah, Masha is a phenomenal athlete. I mean, she's in this sport basically forever, and
she's still only 32.
Yeah, and she's still only 32. She has kids, and it's impressive.
So we're looking at the hot seat there. So Unshun Shin has replaced Sina Gertz, but Nikolai Gusev is still first place athlete on the men's. Probably getting a bit chilly now. Been there all. It's not that common, is it, for the first athlete to go to be still set the standard and remain in the lead?
Yeah, this is impressive from Nikolai, and yeah, when he climbed, I already knew that okay, this is gonna be a really solid performance, and he proved it.
But all eyes now are on the multiple gold medal winning champion Maria Tolokonina.
Masha is quite much shorter than Wonsun Shin, I believe, so her moves, I guess, require a little bit, longer stretch and a little bit more power always.
She's got the gold in the speed. Can she secure a double here today in Cheongsong? It's really quite interesting. This is the 10th year that we've been here in Cheongsong. And back in 2011, it was Tolokonina who came first and took the gold, and it was Unshun Shin who came second. So maybe on the 10th, will those positions be reversed? Let's see.
Let's see.
So good body tension there, hanging off the left, steps right. So reaches up now. Touching distance of quick draw, number 6 reaches over and effortlessly makes that clip. And then holds the tool right at the end of the shaft just to make that reach up. Spectacular location here in Cheongsong. Maria Tolokonina. 2 kids, isn't she, as well?
Yeah. So she did a break for the pregnancy basically, but now she's back strong as ever. Impressive. Yeah,
I was talking to Enni Bertling, who's also mother of 2 kids, and says that often having 2 kids or having kids makes you stronger. I think we can believe it with these 2 women, both great athletes. Look at her swing out onto that hanging volume of ice. Is there a disadvantage to being last to go with the integrity of the ice?
No, I don't think so. Here the pre-drilled holds, they are very good, and I don't think you can really fall off from, or ice can break on any of these holds. You can see Maria skipping one hold to save some time.
The temperatures have been quite warm here in Cheongsong, and it's been above freezing all day, but the quality of the ice seems to be very good, still holding its own. She is hanging off almost a fraction of nothing there as she goes into Fig 4 swinging up.
So far so good from Masha, moving really efficiently and
with just under 3.5 minutes still to go.
enough time.
Anything can happen. Let's
Anything
not tempt
can
fate. Unsun Shin, a penny for her thoughts, as we say in English. What will she be thinking right now as Ekaterina gets that wrap hold with the right, swings into the figure of 4, pulls up, ready to make the next move, which she makes on the first attempt. A little bit of a hang off the arm, but someone like her can get away with that. Pulls up the rope. Do you get rope drag? Is that an issue?
It depends. I mean, here they try to minimize it, and I think so far it was never an issue here, so I think Masha is not having troubles with the rope drag here.
The belayers do a fantastic job, and we should extend a thanks all to the belayers and volunteers and route setters who do such sterling work here.
Here comes the technical move, difficult move.
Let's see. I'm holding my breath, which is something athletes probably shouldn't do, but can't help it. This is it. This could be who determines whether she moves into the lead. The footwork there was next level.
Yes, this is impressive. So
As she
let's
got
see.
it. As she got that hold. It's super sketchy.
Oh, wow.
Super sketchy. Big shouts from the crowd below.
So
This could well be the high point. Has she done it?
I believe so. Yeah, now she clips
She
it
could.
for sure.
This could be the moment, and it is the moment that Maria Ekaterina goes into the gold medal winning position. By clipping that 14th quick draw, she now goes into the lead, and since she's the last athlete to climb, she will take the gold. But can she reach the top? She's still going with time left on the clock. A minute to go. But that is enough to secure her place in the gold. She is super happy,
Masha is super happy. Yeah.
a bit emotional as well.
Thank you so much for your astonishing skill and wonderful performance.
Oh, look at her. You'd think someone like her might get the satisfaction of taking gold might wear off.
Yeah, no, I believe Masha is super happy. I guess also psychologically for her it was good to get a gold. She was maybe a little bit down after the China, but now she's back in the game. So
She really is back on form. You can see some of that climbing prowess here under the roof. And it's a technique like this that really show why she is really one of the world's best ice climbers. So now it's Maxime Tomilov, the last of the men to begin their final attempt. Now this is a man who is the most successful competition ice climber of them all. 5-time world champion, 2012, 2014, 2015, 16, 18. But will it be 2020?
yeah, interesting to see what Maxime can do here on this route. I mean, I heard last year he.
So there's Nikolai Gusev looking nervous, but Maria Tolokanina getting a pat on the back and a hug from Eun San-shin. So all eyes now on the Russian, Maxime Tomilov. Sorry, Nikolai, you were saying?
Yeah, I was just saying that Maxime basically last season decided to retire, but now we see him back. So, and in pretty good form. So it's impressive. He decided to do a short comeback. I don't know how long it will last, but hopefully he will have some motivation to come back again.
Well, he's still a young guy. I mean, he's only 34 years old.
Yeah. I mean, but he's in this sport already for quite some time, I believe, more than 15 years.
Yes, he was competing with his brother Alexei, wasn't he? I think they at the start of the millennium.
Also, quite a big reach Maxime has. I mean, so the long moves, looks like no problem for him.
Well, he's certainly making it look like it's no problem for him. Maybe last year you said he retired, but he was actually working for us as a route setter, and maybe that can help.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I mean, I believe they set the routes on the local championships at home in Kirov for Russian championship and so on. So I think Maxime is not really new for route setting. It was just a little bit new for him to set the routes on the international level. But I think he sets route for his own training pretty much the same as you would expect from a World Cup route.
So what's he going to do at this point? This is the 50-50 dilemma. Clip early or keep climbing?
He will keep climbing. He's going like all on nothing now, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like all or nothing to me.
And pretty quick, I believe. He's faster than everybody else before him.
Little shake out of the arm. Onto the last of the ice volumes with about 4.5 minutes left. Still time. Has a little look around the corner, see what lies ahead. And at this point, perhaps he's thinking whether he's worked out the route from that 7-minute observation period, whether he can remember the moves here.
I think he was checking just if there is another additional blue hole or not, but no problem for him to reach the next hole, so he's just keep going.
So the next hole up is a little shiny steel one. Looks a little bit like one of the Kruganogis.
Yeah, it's a Kruganogi hold, but Maxime knows them very well. I mean, in Russia they have a lot of them. So.
And this is where Dmitry Grebennikov came off. And
no problem.
No problem for this man, Maxime Tomilov, 5-time world champion, looking very strong indeed. Is it going to be a 1-2 on the podium with Nikolai Gusev and Maxime Tomilov? Yannick Glatthard still waving the flag for the rest of the world. Young Hey-Kwon, currently in the bronze position, may find that he is bumped off the podium if Maxime continues to climb with this kind of efficiency of movement. That's really the key word, isn't it? It's just efficiency. Doesn't quite make that hold on the first attempt. Changes his position, shakes out the hand, try again. So there sticks it. But is it really bomber, or is it still a bit sketchy?
Yeah, that's difficult to say. I mean, once you stick it, it seems like you just have to load it in the right direction and it stays there. So if Maxime...
He's got clip number 12.
Keeps on...
He needs to move beyond number 13.
Oh well, he decided to go without figure here. That's...
Wow,
nice, impressive.
He is one to watch, but so slow and methodical,
Yeah.
it seems.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look really fast, but actually he's just so efficient. It's just like...
It is really quite the masterclass from this Russian. Steps up high on that side pull on the right. Is he going to make number 14? If he does, that means that Nikolai Gusev will be feeling very, very nervous. He is almost within grasp of clip number 13.
Well done. Wow, it's impressive.
This is where pulls himself up, shakes the arm, pulls the rope through, having a bit of trouble pulling the rope through. Over a minute
here
left.
comes the dyno move. Interesting.
Right, pay attention, people. This is where it gets interesting.
Only Nikolai did it so far.
Let's see. Crouches.
Come on, Maxime.
What's he going to do?
Nice.
He sticks it. What a dyno. Can he get 14? Can he get 14 with the clock ticking? Is he going to get it? If he gets clip number 14, this will be him taking the gold. Tomilov takes the gold with still time left on the clock to continue. Big cheers from the crowd, second attempt. He's got nothing to lose now, nothing at all. And he sticks it. Sticks it just as the clock runs out. Look at that. Look at that from the veteran maestro from Russia. He will be so happy with that, won't he?
Yeah, I mean, this is great for Maxime, and I'm super happy for him, and it's just impressive how he can read the route and nailed it.
It's so impressive because, as I said earlier, it looked like he was climbing slowly, but it's just not slow at all, but it's just the methodical way he moves, that efficiency. Big thumbs up from him just a moment ago. Look at his chest rise and fall. Round of arms in the air. So this was that traverse, that step left. And then this was the dyno, which he managed to stick on the first go. And then he moved up, got his place before the clock ran out. He's so happy. Big, big smiles. You also get an idea of just how big he is as well. Got a very long reach. Oh, well, he can relax. Can finally relax. And those golf gloves can finally come off. They did their tour of duty. So it seems as though it's a 1-2 on the podium for Russia. We're going to hear the Russian anthem a couple of times, but we're still going to get to hear the Swiss anthem as well. Let's see. Judges, there's still a little bit of time after the last ascent where judges will confer before updating the results. But what a man, Maxime Tomilov. So we got the final standings from the women from what has been just an extraordinary day of action here in Cheongsong. So in 5th place was Valeria Bogdan. Now we mentioned earlier she was disqualified for not clipping that 8th clip. In fact, she just got marked down. So she is in 5th. Ekaterina Vlasova is 4th. But on the podium, taking the bronze, is Sina Gertz from Switzerland. Unsun Shin takes the silver, and it is Maria Tolokanina who takes the gold here on the second stop of the UIAA Ice Climbing World Tour. So over to the men's side. I'm just waiting for my results to update. But it will be in 5th place, Mohammad Reza, Safdarian. 4th will go to Young Hey-Kwon. Yannick Glatthard will take the bronze. Nikolai Gusev will go into silver. And gold goes to Maxime Tomilov. What an epic showdown of talent here today. Remember to follow us online at UIAA Mountains to stay up to date with all our news and content from the tour and to keep abreast of the next events coming. And the hashtag, remember, is UIAA Ice Climbing. Speaking of what's coming next, the next UIA World Tour will be in Saas-Fee. We shall return in 2 weeks, which is always an incredible location, amazing place to be. So we will be there 24th, 25th of January. But from us, thanks a lot to everyone who's tuned in, wherever you are in the world. Big thanks from all of us here. Cheongsong has been epic. We hope to see you all again in a couple of weeks. But until then, it's goodbye from all the team here in South Korea.
Bye.